right now, who I have on the phone with us, she is a dynamo. She is an activist on Twitter. She's an activist on the ground. I like to call her, in the introduction, it says national Twitter activist, because she really has a heart for the country and a heart for the nation. Who we have on right now is at Houston USA 6. Thank you so much for coming on the Erin Cruz Show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Well, many times it's the nameless, it's the faceless, it's the people who, we may see avatars, we may know people online, but so many people are out there are just working so hard to better the country and to keep America great. And we're just thankful you are doing that hard work. Tell us what got you involved in politics.
Well, I was very worried about the country and the direction it was going. I have grandchildren, and I want them to grow up in a safe environment, and I felt that was not happening. I ended up on Twitter thinking that I was going to be able to connect with people and discuss politics and things. Kind of was just hanging around, and that wasn't working for me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a very organized person, and that the best thing we needed to do was organize. And to me, what made sense was developing groups, having each state work on the political issues and candidates that are for their own states. And I didn't expect to take off as quickly as it did. I thought I would get maybe 3 or 4 groups.
Right.
But as of tonight, we have 50 groups. One each state is now represented.
That's wonderful. Cool. That's really wonderful. And, people talk about and they hear the news talking about activism online and, oh, so-and-so said this on Twitter. And you're like, some people go, why even be on Twitter? Well, this is 2018, and this is how many of us communicate. Social media has really revolutionized free speech, except for where it's suppressed, of course. But it's more than just being on Twitter and seeing a little ad up on Fox News, so-and-so said this. It's a way that we can share on a global scale. And so when entities like Twitter suppress people or block them, it really makes impact. Have you experienced that through the elections and with your groups, Houston?
Do I have serious doubts? I worry about a couple of states.
Right.
And that's where I feel that our Twitter groups are absolutely crucial. I can't tell you how many candidates have contacted us thanking us for all the help that they're giving them, and they all feel that we are making a big difference with the Twitter crowd. Right.
Well, because it looks like, Feinstein, when I was running for U.S. Senate, she said the bots are impacting our election, my election. And I was thinking, those aren't bots, those are volunteers. Yeah. Those are people who care about this country. And do we have a lot of them? Yes, we do. And yes, you better be a little concerned about that, because these are actual people on the other line, like you.
Well, what I have to say to Feinstein is, that's not a bot, that's my chauffeur.
Right. Oh, well, look at that. Oh, my. Yes, it's for her to speak about, having people influencing elections, especially those people who should be influencing elections, because people like you, okay, Houston, you are impacting elections. You see it as a duty, don't you, as a citizen?
Absolutely.
And a calling, perhaps.
If we don't do it, we have nobody to blame but ourselves. And our country is in dire need for us to keep going and to help Trump with the agenda as much as possible.
Now, you mean the agenda, you mean his America First agenda.
Exactly. I mean, he's doing such a fantastic job. Can you imagine what he'd be doing if everybody wasn't attacking him?
I can imagine, and I can envision a country where we would be so much further ahead in terms of, joblessness. We would be our employment rate would be fabulous. People would be working. We'd have more manufacturing. You name it. Life would be good if individuals weren't fighting about their socialist platforms that they want to put forward. And poor President Trump. So do you feel like the Twitter groups and the activist groups are really making an impact there?
I absolutely do. I think that what a lot of people don't understand is that we've changed, our lives have changed. We are in real time, and everything is happening in real time, and that's where the social media comes in. By the time you get a newspaper, it's old news.
Right, or fake news and old news.
But that's what I think a lot of the politicians are not understanding. They also don't understand is when they lie, we have the backup to what they're lying about in minutes. And
right.
There's no way people can lie anymore. I mean, we can hold them accountable. It's just a shame that we're not having equality in the judicial system. That's the real problem here.
Right, and that exposing the truth will help bring some of this, corruption to light, and in turn, hopefully, with the good hard work of people like President Donald Trump and others, justice will come. But it seems slow. It really does seem slow. Now, I did hear some really good news. As a matter of fact, you DM'd me because, and for those who don't know, if you're on Twitter, you have a public timeline and you have a direct message. And it's a private message, so to speak, except for you, that person, and Twitter, of course, because we know, read them. But you DM'd me, Houston, USA 6, and you told me some really great news about Florida. Can you share that with us? I'm sure everybody on Twitter already knows.
I sure can. I can tell you that Rick Scott won, and he had about 89% of the votes.
Wow.
Which is insane. And DeSantis won. He only had 58% of the votes, but it's not totally counted yet.
Right.
So, Florida's doing the happy dance right now, and everybody that helped tweet and worked for them, we're all thrilled.
Yes, I bet. This is a huge win. And, time will roll out and it'll be official, and that will be wonderful to have. What do you see going forward? I know that you work on a lot of campaigns in terms of your activism for California. I mean, what do you see? Everybody says California is lost. What do you see? Do you see a lot of people being very positive about California and the elections?
Well, we have 5 groups in California, which means we have about 300 people working so far in our groups. They're working hard, and they're like nonstop working, and I think they're positive. I think that we have a lot of Republicans that came through in the primaries, which we're very thrilled about, and we have a good shot. I would never say somebody can't do it.
Right.
I'm totally optimistic, and I think our people are just amazing. I've met so many incredible patriots that I'm just so proud to be part of this group.
I'm so glad. And I'm glad that you're helping connect people, because that's part of what's been lost. The media, other powers that be, the politicians, they're all working to divide us as a people. And we need unity now more than ever. And what I'm hearing from you is that's what you're really looking to do. Bring like-minded people really, who love this country together and make an impact in the elections. And not just in elections, but on policy and different ideas of thought and things like that. And it's just amazing. It's wonderful, and you're doing it. So now, what do you see? What do you see going forward? I mean, are you thinking about Trump 2020 yet?
Oh, that's why I have the group. We're already organized. We're ready to go.
You're ready to roll. You have all 50 states, girl.
We're ready. One of the best things about the group was when we first started, we have people that have never been involved in politics, They had no idea that they could have a voice in politics, and we've given everybody a voice. They can talk to people. They can have their differences ironed out. I bring a lot of candidates into the groups where they can actually meet the candidates, and it's just been empowering to people. It's wonderful.
It brings humanity back together, the human perspective, because I think that too often the media has made politicians the idea that they're way up there, they're detached, they're just this figurehead and not a person. And these are people. And and you can, if you want to elect the right people, you need to learn who these individuals are and promote the ones which, best suit you, and also who you'll be able to go to when there are issues,
right.
Not these out-of-touch politicians.
We do a lot of research, and we teach people what the research means and how to work with the research and make strategies and plans for what we're doing. And that's very empowering.
That is very empowering. Now, you're already thinking of Trump 2020. You have all 50 states. Then what? Just keep going, right? I mean, keep pursuing the conservative cause. Well, I want to tell you, you inspire me, and I'm so grateful to have met you, and I'm so thankful for what you do. And I'm sure that you want people to connect with you. So what we've done is we've put on the screen, you may not be able to see it here, but we put on the screen your Twitter @ people can connect with you on Twitter. For those individuals who aren't on Twitter, what do you say to them? Do you have a message for them about the positive aspect of Twitter and in their lives?
Well, I obviously I try to get people on Twitter, and I wish it wasn't so difficult for conservatives right now on Twitter. I write to our president often about it, and trying to get through to Brad Pascal, and trying to get people to understand that we must fight and we must not be banned. I mean, we can't sit back and let that happen.
Right.
The media is trying to just cut us off completely, and we have just as much right to have a voice as we liberals do. And
right.
we're not. And I think what they don't understand is we're not sitting back anymore. We're demanding our rights. And
right.
The Republican Party has changed quite a bit because of that.
Right, right. Well, I'm hoping that a lot of people will hear you. You're a woman, you're a patriot, you're a grandma, you love your country, and you're on Twitter. And it's a place where you can make impact, you can build relationships. Of course, social media, you always have to be cautious, but Twitter may not be for everybody, but if you've ever thought about joining and getting involved in politics, join up. Contact Houston, USA 6. She'd love to have your help in your state.
Absolutely.
Oh, well, God bless you. Thank you so much for being on the show, and thank you for being on the Patriot Connection. And if ever you want to come back on the show again and you have something to share, we would love to have you.
Thank you. And in 2020, we'll be working for you.
No, well, I actually still have huge teams working, and we are building 4 years, and we will be, moving forward. It's a long haul. Conservatism is not a sprint. It's a marathon. It's a long distance run, and we're here. We're in it for the long run. So, all right, Houston, USA 6. Thank you so much for being on the Erin Cruz Show.
To hear more and to learn more on how you can make an impact or about the Erin Cruz Show, visit us online at erincruz.com. That's ERINCRUZ.com.